Also, we have professor at Princeton University, Eddie Glaude Jr. We're going to get an update on him, on his social media. You know, how you're doing. Are you detoxing? Are you backing off a little bit?
Oh, you know, you fall off the wagon, Joe.
Oh, my
fall
goodness.
off the wagon.
And we're the host of All In with Chris Hayes. Chris Hayes' new book, The Siren's Call, How Attention Became the World's Most Endangered Resource, debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestsellers list last week. It's like that's an Elton John thing. It's like Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. Number 1.
The Morning Joe bump.
Well, let's get another one. Why do you think the book's connecting?
Oh, I think, the book is about attention and how we sort of live in this perpetual state of distraction against our own will. And like Odysseus bound to the mast, we're fighting all the time to retain dominion over our own minds. And I think that was true years ago about the relationship we have to this and to screens. And then now in the last 2 weeks, all of public life is that way. Like, it's completely mirrored between our relationship to this device and then our relationship to what's happening in the White House, where the literal Venn diagram of these two things, Elon Musk, who owns one of the platforms, is also the person driving this kind of compulsive attention-seeking behavior that's coming from the White House. I mean, Trump has done more events, public events, in the first 2 weeks than most presidents do in the first 6 months, I want to say. Like, the way that your phone is buzzing with notifications, that's now the White House.
Number 1 rule, by the way, kids at home, if you don't want to end up addicted to your smartphone like Eddie Glaude, turn off all notifications. That is the first thing.
I do actual interventions with people.
That is the first thing that the Silicon Valley Titans will tell you. Like, they don't let their kids get screen time, and the first thing they tell you is on this attention, turn off all notifications.
And the key thing here is because, as I write in the book, we have this faculty for what involuntary attention, right? If you're in a restaurant and a waiter drops a tray of glasses, right? Everyone looks before you get to decide whether you want to look or not. Like, or if you're looking at your phone on the street and the car honks, like, it wrenches your attention. They hardwired that faculty into the phone with notifications and the haptic buzz. That is, the car honk is reaching into the deep wiring of your brain.
Exactly. Because I have 4 children, I've paid close attention to this. And not only for children, but for myself, for Mika, for everybody. And there was a study where they had 4 adults.
Just on the phone, just on the table.
4 adults on the table. Turn the phone off. And the adults still glanced at their phone every 14 seconds. Because we're conditioned. So let me ask this question, because I will say, I am serious, the doom scrolling, it's really bad for you. It really is. I think it helps, not you, but for all of us, we lose perspective. We really lose perspective on what's out there. It also, there's the Rudyard Kipling poem, If you can keep your head about you when all those around you are losing theirs. I didn't say it perfectly, but it's all about, like, I'm not saying anybody should be Zen going through this. I am saying strategically we are better if we keep our minds about us and if we keep it in perspective. So, Maura, let me ask you, so I used to, since 2009, Twitter nonstop. It was fun. I'm not going to lie.
It was fun.
Okay.
Those are the good old days.
That's right. I've never done cocaine, but it was like online cocaine. Okay. So those were the good old days. But now you have the doom scrolling. It's gotten so toxic. So the question is, how do you? And I come to you because the New York Times editorial this weekend was extraordinary. They said, do not disconnect. Do not. But there is a balance. So what is that balance?
Well, it's interesting because we assume that connection means being wired to our phones. But actually, that is what is stopping us in many cases from connecting in a meaningful way with our family members, our friends, our community. So I think what we actually meant was get plugged back in with your community. So there's a bell curve, I think, here. And it's hard to find that for all of us. And my friends and I are all texting each other at night. I'm going to put my phone in the bedroom so I can't look at it for an hour. You know, I'm going to leave it when I go for a walk so that I can focus on just talking to you and listening to what's going on in your life. So we're all kind of trying to find strategies. But I think more broadly speaking, just for our politics, people have to start getting together in person and talking about what is happening in our lives and in this country. There's a loneliness epidemic as well, the entire country. And I think the phone is so tempting because it makes you feel like you're connected. And in some ways, yes, it can help, but after a certain point, it's not the same connection as in-person connection. And it actually distracts you and prevents you from getting outside the door.
Well, and you're so right about connecting with people. And I connect with people who voted in a way I will never understand, but it sure does help to talk to them. And it's not one of these things like, I am going to drive to central Pennsylvania. And no, I just talk to my relatives. I talk to my friends. I sometimes I will go on public forums where people are talking, and it is fascinating to hear a 34-year-old man who voted Democratic until Donald Trump started running and just sit there and listen.
Right.
And again, that helps. And again, I'm not saying to say I want to understand why, you know, people are out there saying screw the Supreme Court. No.
Right.
The politician in me says, okay, so I don't understand what happened in November, but I do understand I don't want it to happen next November.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's where you have to get uncomfortable. And, you know, I will say I keep trying the flip phone.
Yeah.
I keep getting pulled back.
That's
And I will
interesting.
tell you, the flip phone, because your kids have it, you know, your spouse has it, and you know that when you go out, if you know, so that's helped. I do wonder though, Eddie, also when we're talking about attention, and this all goes back to Chris's book, if Democrats are trying to get an answer on where they need to go, they're not going to get that answer doom scrolling. And I don't mean to sound like an old man.
No, that's true.
They're going to get that answer on a walk, on a long walk. They're going to get that answer when they're sitting in their house reading a book. They're going to get that answer by maybe reading a book of fiction. It's not, you know, doom scrolling won't get it. I've talked about being at Jimmy Carter's funeral. And, you know, people are like, how do you get past disinformation? I think, in large part, Democrats and independents and Republicans who care about the things that we care about, I think in large part, you go back to basics. You go back to simplicity. Of all the things I've heard, one of the most beautiful things in Carter's funeral, Ted Mondale was reading his father's words on Jimmy Carter, eulogy. And he said they were going to put this document together to sum up what happened over their 4 years in the White House. And that document ended up being, we told the truth, we respected the law, we kept the peace. Sometimes that cuts through a billion tweets.
Absolutely. A Hemingway-like sentence is much better than a Henry James sentence. I think I want to just say that very clearly. But I want to be very, I want to push back a little bit, Joe, and that is to say, it's, you know, it's not just doom scrolling, right? Sometimes there's a public which you're in conversation with, that you can drive information to. Now, that public can be surrounded by digital red shirts, can be surrounded by performative virtue folks, and they intervene and they attack you, and then you get mobbed and the like. But there's a way in which we can use these platforms, and particularly the younger generation, to drive information to each other, right? It's true that in this moment where you think a certain kind of understanding of character is bound up with the formation of attention, how we attend to each other. And we're in a moment, and this comes out of critiques of mass consumer culture all the way to this moment, we're experiencing the deformation of attention in interesting sorts of ways. And the deformation of attention has everything to do with look at the birdie over here, look at this over here, and not pay attention to this right here. But what I'm thinking about is that you're right, we have to do those simple things, those face-to-face things, those bodily contacts, corporal engagements. But we also have to understand that these things have fundamentally changed how we live our lives. And we have to figure out how to do it. Just like, because a lot of what we're saying, people were saying about the radio. A lot of things people were saying about television. Now, this is dramatically different, but it's the technological intervention and how we deal with each other.
I will say, though, and yes, the radio changed America. The television changed so much. But here we're talking about a rewiring of the brain. Could you talk about how social media has rewired the brain, how smartphones rewired the brain? I mean, you can look at the numbers. When kids started getting smartphones in 2010, 2011,
well, absolutely,
everything changed. Nothing magical happened. It's not because something magical happened in Washington, D.C. in 2010 or 11. It's because kids started getting smartphones. And I don't see a lot of good coming out of that.
I mean, you've got, in terms of the sort of empirical measurements, right? We've seen global reading scores decline. My favorite thing is that we're seeing more and more evidence that Americans, the aggregate testing on cognitive tests is declining, which shouldn't happen as a country gets richer, right? As countries get richer, those tests tend to go up. It's called the Flynn effect. So we've seen the beginnings of a reversal of that. So there's clearly something happening. And I think, one of these things that when you think, like, do you feel it or not? It's like everyone feels it. But to Eddie's point, and I think this is really important, is that I do think it's sort of, it's interesting to try to separate two things. The particular form of monetized attention capitalism we have with these platforms, right? That have created slot machines whose whole point is to maximize the number of hours that you look at it, right? And then the core of digital connection, which is an amazing thing, which has transformed the world, which is sort of creating and recreating publics all the time. There are ways to have one without the other. Like, we've had versions of an internet that was much more open, much less captured by the algorithmic feed than the one we have now. I came up in that internet. I love that internet. I sound like an old man, like waxing nostalgic. So I think that's one of the things to think about.
Daddy, how was Glenn Miller Live?
Or what was it like to just go to a web page and type in a URL that you wrote down on a piece of paper?
You mean after waiting for the modem to connect?
Yes. Ding, 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 yeah. But the last thing, and I think this is part of the sort of weird poisonous moment we're in, it is both the case that online is not real life, in that the kind of mobbing that happens in that space and the
not
sort
real
of
life
attentional social dynamics are distorted, right? And it is also the case that, like, we're watching, in the case of Elon Musk, like, he is very real, he is very powerful, and his behavior is being driven 100% by the twisted psychology of this kind of social attention addiction. And that is real life. Like, the stuff that Elon Musk does in the world, that he is being conditioned to do by his exchange with this platform, is absolutely happening in the world.
And I will say, while frightening to millions and millions of Americans, that's also an opportunity for Democrats and independents and Republicans that don't want to go that way. And that opportunity is because it's not a reflection of real life.
Yes.
Democrats play off of that. There's so much here. It is so crazy. 1.5%. 1.5%.
1.5%.
Is what made the difference. And I will say again, I think the Democrats need to get right on so many things. But this whole idea that this was a huge washout and the Elon Musks of America have won the cultural battle. I'm so old and so tired of every election being treated like the last one. I remember telling a member of the Obama administration, like a year and a half in, when they were just thinking everything they did was right. Like, do you not think that George W. Bush's team and Karl Rove, when they walked through the White House gates, do you not think they thought they were the smartest people in the world? this changes. And I will just say to people at home that think that this election was a watershed election, a lesbian woman won in Wisconsin. A woman won in Michigan for the Senate. A really progressive Hispanic won in Arizona. A woman won in Nevada. Now, if you just took those 4 races, just those 4 races, you would look at those 4 races and go, oh my God, this country is really moving to the left, right? So Donald Trump won. Yeah, he won. But to go that, oh, Wisconsin is far right and it supports everything that Elon Musk and Donald Trump. No.
If you, the way I always say it is this: let's say you're in a room, it's got 100 people, and there's 52 people in black shirts and 48 in white shirts. If 2 of them change their shirts, that's the election. But it would be crazy to be like, I don't recognize this room.
Yeah.
That's the election. And that's literally, that's the election. 52 to 48, 2 people switch over.
They walk in and they go, this is not my room anymore.
Yeah.
This is not my, and I will say, this is the genius, I better say mad genius. This is the mad genius of Donald Trump, where you fill the zone so much that you twist and distort reality so people like Eddie on social media 24 hours a day think that all is lost. It's like the end of the Redford movie. All is lost.
You don't think all is lost.
Do you think all is lost?
You're teaching a Baldwin seminar.
I'm grappling with whether or not the country is redeemable. In my latest work.
Because those 2 shirts.
No, because of the reason why the 48 shirts look the way they look. And the reason why they look the way they look, everything in the U.S., America is not about race, but everything is about race, actually, on so many different levels. And part of what I'm trying to figure out is what would motivate the American public to put Donald Trump behind the Resolute desk again. And if that motivation isn't the price of eggs, which we were told it was, but it's something else that actually reflects something much deeper in the country that goes back to its...
Which you're saying those 52 shirts are 51.
It's always been...
is about race.
No, I'm talking about the 52 is, if I understood the 52-48, she bought 52%.
No, but what I'm saying is you're saying the 52...
The margin.
You're saying the margin was impacted because of her race.
The very things you're talking about, those split ticket voting.
Right.
It doesn't make sense that she would lose in these states and these other women would win.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If Barack Obama were running against Donald Trump this year, who do you think would have won? Oh my God!
Hold on.
You don't even have to think that long.
I was going to say Donald Trump, but the same reason.
You think Donald Trump would have won?
No,
Obama would have walked away with it.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
George W. Bush would have beaten Donald Trump. Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh no!
Well, here's a question: do you think, since we're just counterfactual, like
thank you, Chris,
on twin Earth? One thing that I wrestle with, because it relates to this question about how the deep stuff that's going on, is, does Nikki Haley win by a bigger? Does Nikki Haley outperform Donald Trump as the Republican nominee?
I think that if
so you think no, and I think no. I thought yes the whole election, and now I think no. I do think there was a special sauce there.
I think the first woman, and I'm not the first to say this, that gets elected president is a Republican woman.
Oh, that I agree with. But do you think Haley outperforms Trump if she's the nominee?
No. It takes you that long to answer that question.
Well, my God, you don't think Barack Obama would have beaten Donald Trump?
No.
That is shocking to me.
You know what?
What?
Because at the heart of Donald Trump's strategy is that there are more of us that don't vote than them. How do I turn out the disaffected, white, low propensity voter? And he did it every single time. When he's not on the ballot, they don't show up. When he's on the ballot, they show up in
you're making my point. You're making my point, which is, and this is what I've seen over 30 years in politics. people I always, and I even told Republicans on the House floor when we were going around, we're going to burn the place down to balance the budget. Da, da, da. After a couple of years, I'd say to them, guys, I've been out. People aren't ideological.
Right.
Like if we want to balance the budget, we're not going to balance the budget but we have to have a better argument and connect that to people's lives. And so what I've found is this: political athletes win. Ronald Reagan in 1980 was far more conservative than America. Ronald Reagan won in landslides in 80 and 84. And everybody thought that the Reagan coalition was transferable and that the world had changed on its axis. And then Bill Clinton got elected. And then everybody thought, Democrats thought, I can be Bill Clinton. No, Bill Clinton can be Bill Clinton. And then Barack Obama, Barack Obama wins. And my God, what a massive majority he started with. But the Obama coalition, which everybody thought was transferable, not transferable. And that's why Donald Trump, and this is the point, Donald Trump wins because he's Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump's political skills are not transferable, just like Reagan's weren't, just like Clinton's weren't, just like Obama's weren't. Just like his one.
Yeah, but I think that's right. I think it's also true that the country at large is so, at the moment, distrustful of institutions, of government, of people who work in government. There's so much anger, and that is one of the only kind of constant threads between Republicans and Democrats, is a distrust of all of these institutions, including the media, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment is made for someone like Donald Trump to come along as I'm going to come break things and be a disruptor. Now, no one here believes that he is the solution.
Right.
No question. But I think, unfortunately, that coalition, the Democratic coalition, small d, is broken.
And the failure of institutions led to a moment where Donald Trump could do it. And by the way, this is like political fantasy football. We're just talking. I don't know if Barack Obama would have beaten Donald Trump. But
let's run a randomized controlled trial.
And I know I'm getting killed on Twitter right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God!
But this
bring us full circle. Bring us full circle.
So the inside joke was I told him to stay off Twitter when you were talking. Last time he was here, and he was going like this.
I got it turned over.
But this is the point of your book, Chris, which is I cannot tell you the number of Americans I have come into contact with in the past 3 weeks, just ordinary people in the course of my day-to-day life who have said, gosh, I didn't really think it would be this bad under Trump.
Right.
Gosh, did they say something? Did you say something about Project 2025? I didn't think it was serious, and that is about the war for attention. And I think Americans are so. It takes so much more to break through because we're all high.
And I also think the other thing that he has really benefited from, because it would drive me crazy when we're covering the campaign, I'd be like, I hate to break this to you, but I swear to you, he was president before.
Right.
Like, he actually was in office. There actually is a record. And one of the things that happens is, I think we understand this intuitively, when our attention is focused, we commit things to memory, right? If you're like in a near car crash, right, that'll be seared in your head, the birth of your first child. But when we are distracted, things don't get stored in memory.
Right.
If you're like distracted, you're like, where did I put my wallet? So the state of constant distraction creates the situation which no one remembers anything he's done. He's doing the tariffs on Canada and Mexico. What set the tariff schedule for Canada and Mexico? The deal that he negotiated the first time around when he was president.
Yeah, and not just distraction, but trauma, which this country has been.
So you're like,
and speaking of trauma, and speaking of the lack of, Alex is going through trauma right now, saying, "Gotta break, gotta break."
Sorry, Alex.
But you're talking about the trauma of COVID. That's something I will tell you. That is something that we all have underestimated, and in part we put aside.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Because
it's
like you said, the lack of attention span. So many Americans put that aside, and what a lot of voters wearing those 51, 52 shirts said was, I like things better before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those non-ideological people, I don't think, again, I don't think that was all about race. I think there were a lot of people just saying, you know, things were better before COVID, and he was
there before COVID.
They don't remember 2020, but they remember their life before COVID, and they wanted to go back to it, which is, of course,
Trump pulled off this amazing thing of like his presidency ended in 2019.
Yes.
Right. It's like literally like the Trump presidency ended in 2019. It's like what did we do in 2020? Who was president then?
We lost 1 million people.
Yeah. No, you know that, but again, you look at those 52 shirts. Again, that is a great way to look at it. And I think Democrats are making a huge mistake if they don't think that the 48 people in that room with shirts are terrified by everything that's going on. And a good chunk of those 52% right now are going, oh my gosh, he's finally taking it to these institutions that have failed for 20 years. Oh my gosh, we're finally getting somebody going through the agencies, and they're going to clean it. They're going to take it down to the stub. They're going to rebuild it. Like, that's what the 52 shirts are saying right now, or a lot of them are saying.
A lot of them are, but also, and I think you made this point, like when you watch Elon Musk, Donald Trump you talk about political athletes. Donald Trump has a particular set of skills, I think, undeniably.
Right.
Elon Musk does not have those skills. I'm sorry. Watching the man publicly communicate, we are not dealing with the same political athlete that Donald Trump is. And when you hand over the mic for 30 minutes to that dude to explain, by the way, I don't think that message punctures or carries in the same way it does from Donald Trump.
By the way, look at Donald Trump right there. Anybody
a spectator to his own presidency.
Hold on, though. Anybody who thinks he didn't know what was going to happen,
oh, he knew.
Like, he knew exactly how this was going to play out. He's looking at Elon Musk and he's going, okay. Sink,
Yeah, you take the heat for this.
You take the heat for this. Yeah. I'm not going to be taking the heat for it. You take the heat for it. So people are going, look at poor Donald Trump. He's sitting there. He's not even the president. No, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's saying, all right, Musk, this is like a lot of heat coming in here. You take it.
Yeah, a Trump advisor told me just last week, a story that I wrote, that Trump's okay with, for now anyway, with Musk getting attention because Musk is playing a useful role. He's the fall guy.
Yeah.
He's taking the blame. Trump's able to stay above the fray with some of these unpopular decisions that Musk and the team are making.
And by the way, when things go bad, when cancer research is cut, when University of Alabama has to start laying off people, and Katie Britt is very concerned about it, because when all of this stuff happens, then Donald Trump, it's very easy for him to go, Elon went too far.
Can't you hear it now? Oh, he was just a special government employee.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And a special MSNBC host, Chris Hayes, who, like me, has been on a 1-week contract for the past couple of decades. Chris and I have always joked, like we would call, go, are they taking you out yet? He goes, no. Is that not true?
No.
That's why I love you so much, because you're a survivor, because every day you'd hear one of two things back 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
This is the week that Chris Hayes gets fired. This is the week that Joe Scarborough gets fired.
I was getting marched off every day.
One day I had somebody warn me, going, dude, they're going to come in, they're going to put a bag over your head and like walk you out the front door. It's like, Chris and I will do it together.
Still here.
You're still here. And number one. Ooh, baby, that sounds good.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. His #1 New York Times bestseller is titled The Siren's Call, How Attention Became the World's Most Endangered Resource. It is an extraordinarily important read. And we'll, of course, be watching All In